The creepiest foods in the world. The first dish, you will experience the feeling as if in the creepiest horror movie ever known. And the last dish is truly an extreme challenge even for the bravest people, and we are Wonderpedia, bringing you amazing facts you never knew. There are many delicious foods in the world, besides those. Some foods taste very nice, but have a very horrible smell. Next, we have a beautiful representative from beautiful Italy. This is a traditional cheese of Sardinia, Italy, made from unpasteurized sheep's milk. Cashew marzu is usually produced at the end of June, when local sheep's milk starts to change as the sheep enter breeding season, and the quality of dried grass deteriorates in the summer heat. When the cheese matures, fly larvae are intentionally introduced to break down the cheese's fats. Cashew marzu can take up to 3 months to ready for consumption. When eaten, the cheese has a sensation akin to thousands of maggots squirming around in your mouth. This is certainly not an experience for the faint-hearted when the wriggling larvae start jumping frantically inside. Its smell has been described as horrendous, similar to feces or corpses. As a delicacy of Sardinia, cashew marzu is greatly appreciated and a source of pride for the locals. However, the cheese has been outlawed in Italy since 1960 due to laws prohibiting the consumption of food containing live insects. Those who sell it can face fines up to €50,000, around $60. Despite this, Sardinians have eaten the maggot-infested cheese for centuries. Next up is the world-renowned fermented herring dish from Sweden, surströmming. This is a traditional fermented Baltic herring dish of Sweden, fermented in barrels. Herring is typically caught in May-June, then salted and left to ferment for 1 or 2 days before the head is removed. The guts are removed, and the fish is then washed and salted again. The barrels are then stored unrefrigerated for weeks. As wild fermentation takes place, the barrels are opened every few days to release the built-up gases. Surströmming is a clear example of the phrase "one man's food is another man's poison." The fish gives off a putrid odor of feces, ammonia, or urine. Many regard it as the worst smell imaginable. Swedes love this dish and regard it as a cultural delicacy. They eat surströmming with tunbread bread, boiled potatoes, onions, tomatoes, butter and spices. It is often paired with beers or milk. Some enjoy it immediately despite the extreme taste and smell, while others first rinse the fish in soda water before eating. In Skeppsmålen, an old fishing village in Närnsköldsvik, Sweden, locals even built a museum called Fiskevista dedicated to exhibits about surströmming, and opened it to visitors in June 2005. Next, we have a Vietnamese snack, balut, fertilized duck egg. This dish is made from fertilized duck eggs with embryos that have been incubated for a period of 14 to 21 days. Balut is a popular snack in countries like Vietnam, Philippines and other Southeast Asian countries. It is considered as a nutritious food. The partially developed embryo and egg yolk give off a strong odor that can be described like sulfur. This iconic Asian street food once made it to a top 20 list of the world's most challenging foods, as ranked by the Daily Mail. Stepping forward next is a representative from the country of love, France, and that is the legendary Roquefort blue cheese. It's said that the blue cheese originated by accident, when cheeses were stored in the Cambalu caves' cool, damp air to age during medieval times. According to legend, a shepherd boy left out a half-eaten loaf of bread and followed up some days later to find mold from the bread had spread into his cheeses, creating blue cheese. This is a famous blue cheese from France, ripened with penicillium fungus. Raw milk is pasteurized and then the acidification process occurs, when culture is added to convert the milk sugar lactose into lactic acid, changing the milk from liquid to solid. Rennet is added to help coagulate the milk, and the curdled milk is cut to release whey from curds. The distinctive blue-green veins are created during initial aging when the cheeses are needled with stainless steel rods to introduce oxygen and encourage mold growth. This is also called piercing. The process softens the texture and develops the characteristic tangy, rich blue flavor. The ripening process creates a very potent, pungent odor. Blue cheese pairs especially well with fruit and nuts, and it makes a great addition to any cheese board, with it into salad dressings, sauces and soups, or crumble it over salads. It also provides an umami kick to stuffed meats, mac and cheese dishes, and roasted vegetables. Some describe the smell as peppery or like pine resin. Roquefort is one of the smelliest cheeses in the world. making its way through the Great Wall of China joining us, is the stinky tofu. This is a traditional fermented food of China, made from tofu that has been fermented with bacteria. Stinky tofu is a type of fermented tofu that has been allowed to turn rotten and develop a strong odor. It is considered a delicious delicacy in Taipei, Taiwan. Its taste and smell has been described as resembling dirty socks, garbage, blue cheese, or sewage, though attracting its loyal fans, partly for its high nutrition content like vitamin B12, B1, amino acids, and high protein. Stinky tofu also aids digestion for the consumer, relieves bloating and constipation, detoxifies the body, and the peculiar taste stimulates the appetite. Tofu is a very familiar food for Asian people. Made of soybeans mashed with water, then shaped into square or rectangular blocks with molds. Regular fresh tofu is white in color, with the beanie, mild flavor characteristic of soybeans, and can be eaten directly without cooking. The fermentation process creates an extremely strong offensive odor that can be detected from afar. Once fermented, the tofu transforms into stinky tofu, used to make appetizing dishes. Popular cooking methods include deep frying stinky tofu with vegetable oil, stewing it in soup, pan frying, or boiling. The most famous is the deep-fried version, often served with pickled vegetables and chili sauce. The smell has been described as resembling feces or chemical waste. Many call it chemically altered waste product, yet stinky tofu is a beloved delicacy of the Chinese. The one and only fruit making it onto our list in today's video, with its spiky appearance and strong aroma, is the durian, hailing from Southeast Asia. Durian is a popular tropical fruit, widely found across Southeast Asian countries. The fruit has a very strong odor. Some people love the smell, while others cannot stand it and find it to have an unpleasant rotten smell, comparing it to rotten onions, turpentine, or sewage. Due to its notoriously powerful smell, this fruit has been banned in many hotels and public transportation systems all over the world. People of Asian origin, however, find the smell pleasant and appetizing. Durian is sweet, creamy, and highly addictive to its fans. Eating durian provides nutrients like thiamine, manganese, riboflavin, copper, folate, magnesium, niacin, anthocyanins, carotenoids, polyphenols, and flavonoids. Many compounds with antioxidant properties that promote beautiful skin and prolong youthfulness for both men and women. From the icy land, let me introduce you kiviak of Greenland. This is a traditional dish of Greenlanders. Although a traditional food, the preparation of this dish frightens many people. The main ingredient for this dish is the auk, a small seabird weighing about 150 grams, with black and white feathers. The name kiviak means taste of summer in the Inuit language. Kiviak is a product of food preservation and storage during the harsh winter when food is scarce, helping people survive the difficult period of frost and darkness when hunting for fresh meat is nearly impossible. Before making kiviak, people remove the meat and bones of the seal they hunted. What remains is a skin bag with a thick layer of fat. Then, the dead auks, still fully feathered, are stuffed tightly into the skin bag. Usually around 300 to 500 birds are used. The open skin is sewn shut, and the Inuit smear a layer of fat on the surface. This helps ward off flies and prevent them from laying eggs and spoiling the food. The sealed seal skins filled with birds are then buried under a pile of rocks to avoid air exposure and left to ferment for 3 to 18 months. The seal fat helps soften the bird's meat. Inuit typically eat it raw, after plucking the feathers and removing the feet and beak. When dug up, the entire mixture has liquefied, and people smash the auk heads to eat it like breaking an egg. Even more horrifying, many directly bite off the bird's heads and suck out the liquid inside. The auk bones can also be eaten. Just hearing about the consumption is spine-chilling, and the dish's flavor is equally terrifying. An intense, pungent aroma of rotten meat rises as soon as it is unearthed. This strong, fishy taste is usually eaten outdoors because if consumed indoors, the lingering stench will persist for weeks afterwards. Therefore, people normally enjoy it outside. The heart is said to be the tastiest part. Only the bravest diners can stomach this dish, while the unaccustomed will feel nauseous from just a whiff. Nowadays, auks are more often used for direct cooking. The traditional kiviak dish only makes rare appearances at important celebrations. Greenlanders consider this dish an important protein source as spiritual food. So, Have you known or tried any of the dishes mentioned above? Please let everyone know in the comments. We dare to say that many people will consider you incredibly brave. See you in the next videos.